Nikki Z here, rocking out with you, hanging out with my good friend, because once it hits 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, we always check in, when he's available, that is, with Coach Wyde. Coach Wyde! Today, I really wanted to talk to you about something very, very important because, I think we as a society, we tend to talk about abuse. We do sometimes, not enough, definitely. But we don't talk enough about verbal and emotional abuse. And more pointedly, in today's day and age, what dropping some of those words on social media does to people. Because I think you have a lot of people out there that just think it's funny to try to get a comment that gets reactions from other people. And they don't really pay attention to the consequences of the words that they're putting under someone's post. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that.
So at the risk of coming across insensitive, one of the things that I always say is that emotional hurt can last longer and be more damaging than physical hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't want to diminish the experience anyone has gone through who's been physically abused, because I know that we have some physical abuse that definitely lasts for the rest of your life. I just want to say, though, that the emotional ones stick with you in a way that's a little bit different than the physical ones. And that emotional abuse that you get gets carried on to everyone that you meet, every experience that you have, your children, your family, and all of that. And we don't always think enough of the impact of what we say.
Yeah.
Parents and how they speak to their children, sometimes they don't think about the impact of what they're saying and how it is affecting their children. Because I'm sure you can think about something that your parents have said back in the day, even 10, 15 years ago,
sure can.
that you still think in your head.
It still rings in my head.
I can't believe my mom said, right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be very careful. The saying is you have to taste the words before they leave your lips. Make sure that they're good, because you never get an opportunity to take those words back. And that now goes for social media, because anything you put online, it stays online. You may delete it, you may try to unsend it, it stays there forever. So emotional abuse and emotional pain and emotional stress, these are things that are real, that last, and our words are very, very impactful, especially the closer you are to someone. The closer you are in a relationship, the tighter you are, the more those words mean something. And one of the things that we're seeing now, Nikki, prevalent is children and teen suicide.
Yep. The numbers have gone up tremendously.
Oh, it's skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily because people are being bullied like how we got bullied in school, where someone may hit you or push you. I'd rather that.
Yeah.
The abuse that's going on right now is online bullying, where they're saying this and that about you.
Yeah.
And now it spreads to everyone.
In group
and everyone's
chats,
making fun of you.
all kinds of stuff. Yep.
I remember one popular one in Toronto, actually, where this girl took her life, and it ran through the entire country because of how bad it was.
Yeah.
But it was just online bullying. It was cyberbullying. It was making fun of her and posting pictures. And now they take your pictures and they, superimpose something on top of it and make you look differently. And it's just crazy.
It's very crazy. And
impacting.
this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because even this weekend watching Reggae Sumfest, and then sometimes you look on social media at some of what people say, and I wonder, how does that artist really come off that stage? And hopefully they don't look at social media, but I'm sure some things creep over to them. You know what I mean? It's just, and it's not just artists. It's like we said, it's like students. People will take up maybe a photo, you saw somebody doing something that they wanted to be private, or maybe something embarrassing happened. You were swimming and your swim bottoms fell off, and you want to giggle and you want to make a joke of it, or anything like that. It really has damaging effects, and I think we all need to take a step back and look at it different. You know what I mean? You can have an opinion. You can criticize something and have an opinion. What is the difference between putting your opinion there and being emotionally, verbally abusive?
Well, there's the personal aspect of it, right? That's what comes in. A lot of times, if you want to critique someone and say, the music, it doesn't connect with me because the lyrics that they spoke, I can't relate to it or anything other. But if you say, why outfit look kind of weird and this, that, and you start attacking the person personally, that takes away from the opinion that you have on someone's music and how you don't relate to them. So now you're talking about that person physically, and you're talking about them and their personal. And that's where we have the line that gets drawn in between. You have critics who will talk about a musician, and they will talk about their body of work, and it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. But when you have someone who talks about you personally, and they attack you personally as an individual, not just your music, and it's a little bit different, and that's where you see people taking it to heart, and that's where you see a lot of musicians are battling depression.
Battling depression, and you can say the word that you were going to say, suicidal. You can say it because it is true.
They are.
I've watched artists who've had relatives and family members die or go through, tragic accidents, and they have to buck up and still go on stage. And then you'll look online and see these people with comments like, "Oh, them just a smile saw and such just happened," and they don't understand how hard it is for them to already have to deal with this, still do your job, but you want to tell them how they should be when they're already. There is so much abuse on social media that it's not even funny. Like me personally, I got a very thick turtle skin, but at the same time, it does bother me sometimes. But I have to I try my best to not get too involved with social media because I know me. I know what that will do to me. You know what I mean? So this is something I want to reach out to people who might not realize that they're doing this, to let them understand what it is that they're doing.
You have to understand that we're humans.
Yeah.
And we have feelings, and we have family, and we have friends, and we have people who, it's not just the individual that has to go through this.
Yeah.
It's your family as well, Nikki, that has to go through this when people post things online as well. Yeah. And it's the impact that it has on your entire family. There's an old saying, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say nothing at all. Just because you have an opinion, it doesn't mean you have to share it and post it online. Mm-hmm. If you don't like me, you don't have to go and post it online that I can't stand Coach Wyde because he's arrogant, he thinks he's this, that, and the other. You don't have to post.
What will be your reason? That's your that's your opinion. I mean, and we have to separate a little bit because, like, even on radio, I give my opinion, but I'm a practitioner, and this is what I'm actually paid to do. You know what I mean? Or if you go on a Yelp feed and you're seeing people write about their reviews, because people want the reviews to see if I should go to the restaurant. But if you're just going on that, even that, and just writing something malicious like, I can't stand the owner, him always mess up with da-da-da-da, like, you're not doing what that is there for. You know what I mean? You have to be some kind of constructive with the criticism.
Well, it's the professional. You're talking about a professional. You are a professional. This is what you're hired to do. Yeah. And so you offer a professional opinion on it. And then
I don't mean no ill will to nobody. It's just how I feel that when the music is and how it is.
And then the professional, the Yelp reviews, people are actually solicited Yelp reviews. Yes. They're going on. But your personal opinion that you put on there, no one solicited that.
No.
When you go underneath mine, or you go under Nikki, or you go under me, or you go under anyone, Doja Cat, whoever, and you put no one solicited that.
No one did.
No one asked you for your opinion. Why do you feel you have to go out there and slander someone and speak about someone?
Let me give you an example.
Why do you feel that you have to do that?
Let me give you an example. I made a post, my cute little red outfit from Reggae Sumfest. I was feeling myself in that outfit, right? Okay, no comment. But anyway, so the way it's tied up, I'm part of the itty committee, right? So the way it's tied up, I got the V cut there. And then one person in the comment goes, "What's wrong with our breast then?"
Where was the point?
That's what I'm trying to say. And it's like, half of me is like, I want to respond and go, do you not realize that the human body is the human body? I mean, like, seriously, people, biology class. But I just said, it doesn't make any sense because people like that. People with those types of energy come from a level of ignorance that it literally makes no sense to respond to.
You would give her the attention she's seeking.
Oh my gosh, would I? Would I?
And that's the other part I wanted to talk about. These people who do that, let's get it real. They are attention seekers.
Very much so.
They want someone to acknowledge their existence, acknowledge their presence. Mm-hmm. They say salacious things. They say the most outlandish things possible in hopes that somebody will acknowledge what they say.
Yep, and they get a bunch of likes on the post.
They'll say something different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's where we go through. So now you have to look through. Let's talk to that one person if they're listening. What was your purpose?
Yeah, why?
What was your intent? Who were you speaking to when you asked that question? Mm-hmm. Because you were trying to talk to somebody because you asked the question. who is your audience? Who did you
Exactly.
want to reply to you? And for what purpose did you want them to reply to you?
Yeah.
Did you need them to acknowledge you? Did you need for Nikki to say something and speak to you? Because if you did, you could have probably just messaged her separate and said,
Oh, you could have
love your
called me
dress,
because I would
like
have
this,
addressed
did
you
something.
properly. Yes, I would have addressed you
No,
Trust
but the thing
me.
is, Nikki, sometimes they want your attention, but they don't know how to get it. And they think that by saying something mean, they'll get you to say something.
No, they got
Because if
blocked
they
and
say something
deleted.
nice, you won't.
They got blocked and
They
deleted
don't.
because I was
That's
like,
not
what
how the
is
world.
that
That's not how they
stupid?
think.
Yeah, like
That's not how they
what
think.
kind of comment is that? That's just stupid.
Well,
You know,
what gets more attention? Negative comments or positive
the
comments?
negative ones. But that is
That's why
why
they do
we
negative.
are
Yeah.
where we are as a society in so many cases because we're looking
Yeah.
for the sensational. We're looking to go
Mm-hmm.
viral. And to go viral,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go extreme and more extreme. And some point we have to reassess our moral compass and understand what exactly we are doing, who we are hurting, and why we find a need to do it. What does it benefit? What does it bring you? Does it bring you money? Does it bring you joy? Does it
Yeah.
bring you peace?
We have to stop acknowledging. That's what we have to do. Once we get to the point of stop acknowledging these, like you did a great thing. You did
Yeah.
exactly what you should have done. Not acknowledge the person because now their worth that they're looking for is not there anymore. What they were trying to accomplish doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't mean anything. So
Exactly.
for you to actually reach out to them, you would have validated their reason, you would have validated their comment, and guess what they would have done? They would have now started even more.
Yeah,
They would have,
exactly.
because now they know what to do to get attention, right? So it's one of those things where we as the audience have to stop acknowledging these comments, stop reacting to them, stop even answering. Even if somebody said, why you say that, you don't even do that. Just don't acknowledge their comment. Don't say
Exactly.
anything at all, and you take the fuel out of it. The more you speak to it, the more you add fuel. The more you leave it alone, that's like taking the oxygen away from a fire. It can't burn.
And that's what we need to all do. Listen to Coach Wyde. I mean, no, I really wanted to focus on the social media side, which we have, but you got people at home right now who are verbally abused and don't even know it. You got women who are verbally abused, men who are verbally abused, kids who are verbally abused and don't understand that that is what's happening to them. So anything that we haven't touched on to help them kind of know and identify that this is happening to them.
So in our culture as Jamaicans, I mean, I've been out of Jamaica for a while, but I'm still a Jamaican. I know that within our culture, we are very heavy on negative. Go to a restaurant and you say to someone, you like that, how's your soup? Well, it tastes too bad,
Yeah.
And it's in our culture. Instead of saying it tastes really good, you would actually say a negative on it. It doesn't taste too bad. And that's just how we speak.
That
We
is a
say, "It don't taste
Jamaican
too bad."
thing, yo.
How's your dress?
Seriously.
Do you like her dress? Well, it don't look
Come
too
on,
bad.
it's all right. It's all right.
Right. We don't acknowledge positives.
Yeah.
We look at saying something positive as vulnerability, and we don't want to be vulnerable. And that's our culture as Jamaicans. We'll tear things down because it's our strength and it avoids us being vulnerable. Because if we say something look good, it might make us, look soft. So we don't say anything about that
or
stuff.
even something as simple like I saw this little clip that was, it's really funny. It was talking about how, this young man made soup for either his mom or grandma and it was too much salt in it. And instead of just being like, all right, well, this time there's a little bit of salt, but let me help you so you know better. A Caribbean parent would be like, you just waste all of my money. You dash away all of my money, and instantly go into that. And you don't realize that, some kids might go and readjust, but others might now never want to even attempt to do that again.
But that's what I was getting at, that we have now become accustomed to negativity.
Yeah.
We've now become accustomed to accepting that when we ask someone for something, it's going to be coming across and it seems okay. Because when I said, look too bad, tastes too bad, we've accepted that as that's okay to say.
Yeah.
That's not but in reality,
it's not.
When you're talking to your child, it's not. You really want to build them up and say that looks good, or it tastes good, or I appreciate the effort that you made. Thank you for making this soup.
Exactly.
Next time we're going to talk about how much seasoning to put into it.
Exactly.
You don't say, why are you full of the salt? You have no salt left. You don't go there. You just say, you know what? I like it. Thank you. I appreciate you making this soup for me. You know what? Next time we're going to talk about how, the seasoning a little bit differently and see how we can. That's how we can but we don't do that, in our culture.
We don't.
So when we hear things like that, sometimes we have to either correct it at the time and say, so you like it or you don't like it. You don't taste too bad. So you like it or you
Or
don't
you don't
like it.
like it. Which one is it?
Right. Get in there and get the definitive.
Yeah.
And if we as people, if you catch yourself about to say something like that, pause and say, you know what?
Pull it back.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't like it.
Just be honest. Yeah, just say,
honest.
or just if you want to say there's a lot of salt in it, be like, yeah, but nice try, but too much salt. You know what I mean? But you ain't gotta like batter anybody down, or like if you see somebody put up their swimsuit picture and then you put under their picture, oh, you get so fat. Why would you post that? Why would you write that? Do you not understand that some people literally already go through enough in their head when their body changes? So like when you feel okay to be like, oh, you look so fat. What do you accomplish when you do those things?
Unsolicited comments.
Yeah,
That's
like what?
The thing. Keep your unsolicited comments to yourself. If no one asked you for your opinion, don't share. If someone said, "Well, how do I look in this? Do I look fat?" Yeah, you look fat.
Yeah, you do.
I remember in high school, I remember this girl asked me, I didn't say anything, but she said, "Do you like my shoes?" I said, "No, I don't like it."
Yeah.
And she never spoke to me again after that day, and I was fine with it. Don't
I
ask
was
my
fine.
opinion.
Don't ask if you don't want to know.
I wasn't trying to be rude, but what do you want me to sugarcoat and say? It don't look too bad.
No,
I said I don't like it.
I don't like them. They're weird looking.
But I wouldn't have voluntarily said that.
No,
we would have walked through the mall. We would have been good. We would have carried on like nothing. I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have turned around and been like, "Yo, my girl, why you got them on?"
Yeah.
Or the classic, "What are those?"
that was like 20 years before. They
still do it now. They still do it now.
I was in high school. No, what I'm saying is that back then we didn't have that phrase.
Yeah.
That phrase came 20 years.
Yeah. What are
those? We didn't have that.
That's always fun among friends, though. That's among friends. That's fun among friends.
Amongst friends, but no. To be real with you, Nikki, it's the unsolicited comments, man.
Yeah,
it's the unsolicited comments. And even if somebody's asking you for your opinion, you don't always have to be very rude about it. I didn't say no. Your shoes are ugly.
Yeah, no.
That's the stupidest and the dumbest. I didn't say all that.
Yes, you just said no. I don't like them. And as simple as that.
But she was offended. But don't ask my opinion if you don't want the answer. I'm going to always tell you the truth.
Me too.
Whether you like it or not. So be careful.
I learned a long time ago, truth tellers walk alone. So I've always been okay in that knowledge that I was going to be alone. So I was like, all right, truth tellers walk alone, get ready for it. And I've been ready for it. So it is what it is. And like to everybody listening right now, there are a few of you listening that are this type of person. And all you can do is just kind of identify it and try your best to readjust it. There are quite a few people out there who are listening right now who you feed off of the response. Yeah, the responses you get when you make these comments. So it fuels you to do it more often because you like this affirmation. But what you're doing is harming people. So there are so many other ways to get love and affirmation without using the method of tearing another person down to do it. So some of y'all on social media, you're lucky there's no location under y'all pages. That's all I'm going to say. Because some people ain't going to take that too lightly. I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to buck up on the wrong one sometimes.
There's a saying that they have that, you're standing on someone's shoulders, keep your head above water. But what you're doing is the person's shoulder you're standing on, you're drowning them effectively. And so just to keep you alive, you want to step on that person's shoulder. That's kind of what you're doing right now. If you are this negative person, maybe stop and evaluate your life.
Yeah. Why are you so unhappy?
Why am I this person?
Yep.
Why am I so toxic?
Yep.
Why am I so argumentative? And I'll be open and say, I grew up in Jamaica. I was that person who goes to the negative automatically. That's just how we were raised.
Yeah.
To be strong, to be, forceful, and to not show any kind of
take
weakness.
any pooter from anyone. Yep.
That's our culture. Our culture is to be strong and forceful. So now I had to deprogram myself and get away from that because I realized how destructive it was.
Yeah.
And how it wasn't helping my family, wasn't helping anyone, my friends, to be the strong, destructive person who's always negative.
Absolutely.
So as Nikki's saying, you can change it. You can stop it. You can catch it. And you can apologize afterwards. Say, you know what? I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
What I meant to say was the food tastes good.
I've done that before.
What I meant to say was,
I've done that before. I've gotten
what I should have said.
What I should have said was this, but I was having a really bad time processing it. So I've done that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's not weakness. That's actually a big sign of strength right there.
I was just about to say that
Yeah.
people equate apologizing with weakness. It takes more courage and strength
Got that
to
right.
apologize for something
To say
than
you
it does
wrong.
to continue being wrong.
Yep.
Let me say that again. It
Yep.
takes more strength and courage to apologize for something than it does to continue being wrong.
Yep.
Because by apologizing, you have to have the strength to allow yourself to be vulnerable.
Exactly.
And not everyone is strong enough in vulnerability.
I love
And
that.
so step out, stop and say, you know what? I shouldn't have said that.
Yep.
What I should have said was XYZ.
XYZ. I love
And you
that.
don't even have to say, I'm sorry. You don't have to say, I'm wrong. Or just, you know what? I shouldn't have said that. What I should have said was XYZ.
Yeah, you don't have to say it was wrong because you probably meant what you said. You know what I mean? But it just didn't need to be phrased that way. So, all right, people, we're taking this as a note. You know, next time you say something to someone or you type under someone's post these unsolicited comments, think if it's really worth doing. Like, what is it really going to do for
What's my
anyone?
purpose?
Yeah, what's the purpose of it? Coach Wyde, what is your social media? Where can people find you?
Take 2 steps forward. You can find me on Instagram right there. I'm doing a lot better trying to post, Nikki. I'm working on it, but take 2 steps forward. If you want to get in touch, if you want to contact, you can always reach me there. You know what happens? A lot of times people reach me through the DMs. I don't post, but they still find me there and they just message when they want to talk through something. So it's the best way to find me. It is the best way to find me.
Well, make sure you find them, follow them, and get your real motivation from a true expert. Coach Wyde, take 2 steps forward. Thank you for joining us again.
Take care.
Yeah, man.